You know, there's got to be an intelligent design here. Well, seaweed, most all of it's safe to eat. If you can crush it very easily, you can generally eat it raw. If it's hard to crush, you generally have to cook it. Okay, and it's not just the soft stuff in a sushi restaurant wrapped around, you know the rice, but that is. But you got to watch out where you're getting it from. Now, since we have Los Angeles north of us, there's going to be a lot of toxic products flowing down the river. So you want to go deeper into the ocean, or you want to go down to Laguna so it's further away from any river source, because the river is going to carry a tremendous amount of heavy toxic metals down. Cooking it can generally leach out some of the toxins, but heavy metals tend to get inside of it. So seaweed is fantastic. Plus, it's 35% protein. It's bioavailable. It's right there. It's organic. Now, small game. Now, this is an absolute wonderful food source. Do you know about pigeons when they first came to this country? They were actually brought as a food source. I know, they're not flying rats, okay? They're not, although, you know, when they poop on your car, you might get pissed. But this right here, there's tons of actual available food sources. Now, possum, squirrel, rat, pigeon, and you might say, I'm never going to eat a rat. Well, you know, in South America, guinea pigs are actually considered a delicacy, you know? So, you know, just realize that if your family, if your friends are hungry, that this is an actual available food source. Okay, and to catch them is very, very easy. Fish. There's freshwater sources and there's saltwater sources, but it's not just big fish you're going for. There's crawfish, there's small sea life there. There's a lot of different sources that you can get. So whatever area you're in, look at the bioavailable food sources, okay, the living food sources that you can get. Garden. Now, I've got a garden at my house, but you can have a garden. If you live in a condo, you can have a garden. You can grow pineapple in a 5-gallon bucket. You can grow a fruit tree in a 5-gallon bucket. I've got 3 5-gallon buckets that have miniature fruit trees that are loaded with fruit. Okay, and so it doesn't require a massive amount of area. One of the best books I've ever seen is Mel Bartholomew, The Square Foot Gardening Method. He'll show in a 4-foot by 4-foot section how you can have a continual harvest, particularly in California. We're so lucky to be here. We can have 4 growing seasons. It's continual all year round. Fantastic square foot gardening method. But the one thing, if you do have a garden, you have to pay attention to your food source every day. This means you got to water it. Okay, this means your compost, you have to till it and go, because compost is a living being. It's a living structure. It's got beautiful bacteria and these healthy worms that go in there and chew up, and as long as the worms are fed, you have soil that just enriches it. One of the nice things about compost is, if you've ever had compost, to spread it out on dirt, it's okay. But if you mix compost and make a compost tea or just a little bit of compost with a lot of water, it soaks in there and you get that mineral-rich soil, and your yields are going to be tremendous, tremendous. And that just takes a little education. Now, parks. There's a huge, huge number of plant life in the parks that's available to us. Eucalyptus oil, we're going to talk about that in first aid. Fantastic for colds. It's antiviral, antimicrobial. Pine, you can make a vitamin C pine needle tea, which are pine trees are all around. Cattails. You can go down here to the marshland and you'll see all these cattails coming up. You can actually eat the roots, and all it takes is a little bit of research to research what part of the cattails you eat, what you eat, because some plants out there are poisonous. Nettles, fantastic. If you've ever been hiking in the hills around here and you're walking along and you smell that like weird, almost like licorice type smell, okay, and you see these weird spindly things that look like they're out of, you know, some bad Star Trek movie, underneath it, when you rip it up, there's this beautiful white root that's loaded with nutrients, and it's called anise. So there's a tremendous amount of food that's right there that All it takes is a little bit of research. And that's why I put the websites on the back. But it just takes a little bit of research to find this out. This is my favorite. This is the one that's out of this world. Sprouts. Okay. Now I got mine from wheatgrasskits.com. I like them. They're fast. They're all organic. But imagine this: you don't need to refrigerate it. It's loaded with nutrients. I mean, what is 1 pound of alfalfa seeds produces 10 pounds of sprouts? So if I'm doing the math and I got to take care of 6-7 people. Okay, and we're talking about 1/2 to 3/4 of a pound of food a day. 1 pound of sprouts, that gets about 14 to 20 meals. Okay, wow, that's a good, food storage to food ratio. It only takes about 3 to 7 days to grow them. It only takes minimal amount of water to grow them. But when you look at it, they're loaded with vitamins, A, B, C, D, E, K, zinc, potassium, phosphorus. They're all organic. They're super easy to store. They last about 5-6 years. And what's neat is if you don't eat them, you can plant them. No, you're supposed to say, wow! Because when I came up with seeds, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And then you start finding out just a little bit. I mean, I ended up getting 12 pounds. Think of this, 12 pounds of seeds plus a grower for like $80. And I'm going, oh my God, that's an entire month of food for like 5 people for $80, and it's organic. I'm not saying I'm cheap, I'm frugal. Okay. And it's fresh and it's organic and it fits everything else. Because I'm buying these packages of sardines and I'm going, I know I got to get it, but I don't want to. Okay, and I'm buying, because you can store rice pretty good, but the grains really aren't good for you. But it's a good calorie source. You can store beans a long time. Barley is the best one to store, but it's hard to find it in our area. So the canned food, it's like emergency omega-3s, and you look on the side when you're buying canned food. You got to look at it. If it says sardines, water, salt, or sardines, spices, salt, that's pretty good. If it says, hydrogen blah blah, red colored dye, whatever the heck, no, you don't get it. So these are the total skills for survival. And on the back of the sheet, and this is just for food and transportation, I put a number of different websites. See, this talk is not meant to teach you survival skills. It's meant to start you on a pathway where you're not scared, where you have tools, you do a little research, and you can survive virtually anything. Learn how to can food. You're going to see it's so ridiculously simple. And if you have a garden, you got to. Transportation, look at your area, look at your vehicles, look at your choices, so that if any disaster happens, you're not panicked. You go, oh, that road's backed up? No problem. I could go this way. Okay, water distilling and purification, we're going to cover that next week. Shelter, waste management. I'm going to show you the coolest design of a toilet that doesn't use any water. I don't know why that thrills me, but it's really cool. Okay, first aid and everything. I mean, Russian proverb, pray to God, but keep rowing to shore. God, I mean, I'm super, super religious, super spiritual. I know God's here, okay, without a doubt. Okay, He's why I'm here. He's why I get a chance to work. Okay, He's what brought me here. And I will pray to Him during any disaster, but by God, He gave me skills. Wait, I pray to God, and I just said, by God. Well, anyway, I'll work that out later. Okay, it works. Okay, the Arab one, I love this one. Pray to God, but tie up the camels. Do your prayer, do your meditation, but you got skills, and you got to use them. You got to. Because honest to God, I mean, I couldn't find a better quote. It's better to look ahead and prepare than to look back and regret. Oh, I should have. This is the most important one. Now, what's tough is when we start talking about survival, we're not all young, healthy, and dynamic. Some of us have major physical challenges. This gal came in, and this is somebody standing up straight. This is a 27-degree scoliosis in a 60-year-old woman. Now, she came to me, and vital, I mean, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful heart, beautiful face, but she couldn't do it. She couldn't hardly walk. Okay, and she came up being really healthy. She even had an elevator because she had lived in a 2-story condo, And the elevator, it was a chair that would go up the stairs because she couldn't even go up. I said, don't worry about this, Linda. I'm telling you right now, only your grandkids are going to be using that. You're going to be all better. Okay, now how do I know that? How can I look at her spine, and that's horrible, and say I can help you? Well, she's taken 9 different prescriptions. Now, one of the good things about disaster is they won't be able to supply the pharmaceutical industry. So instead of people looking for toxic chemicals to reduce symptoms, they're going to look at, well, you know, this is kind of dumb taking this pill. I think I'm going to find out why my body's giving me the symptoms. And then we're going to talk about that in first aid. And so she started to understand that her body was intelligent and was given symptoms for a reason. So I think it took about 6 months for her to start listening. And she started to scale back the drugs. Okay, now we're about a year and a half into it. Her scoliosis is reduced around 25%. And what's interesting, she took the before and after x-rays to the orthopedic guy, and he says, well, yes, it did change, but it can't really get better, so it's eventually going to get worse. Hey, you know, I guess doctors do their own drugs. But now she's walking 3 miles a day. She's not taking any drugs. She's healthy. And honest to goodness, she's not using the chair to go upstairs. So when it comes to having that confidence in your body, that your confidence that your body's going to carry you through any type of trauma, it can. I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. Your joints are only a year old. This is what I do. I restore that normal, natural healing. Now, in order to be prepared, you got to be physically prepared. Okay, I mean, you know, after seeing arthritis reversed and scoliosis corrected, to get checked in my office usually is expensive. For this month, for this, you know, survival month, I call it fall into hell. Okay, well, anyway. $25 covers everything. And the biggest thing with this is, I mean, obviously a posture analysis and consultation. If you're taking medications, you get a drug search. What that means is we go in there, we get a list of the medications you're taking, which since we're in the dark ages, it could be dozens. And we go in and I tell you what it's for, what it was prescribed for, what it does, what the mechanism of action is, what it depletes from your body, and the healthier alternatives. And then we give you an exam. If I feel you need x-rays, you get a copy of digital x-rays. So this way you keep them with you, so if you end up into trouble, you actually have it with you. A report, and if I see any damage, you get an adjustment too. And Lori's in the back. She's my sister. She's got that wave in the parade wave. she'll give you a coupon because, I mean, it's for you and everybody else. Now, all of these talks, they're recorded. My son is just like anybody's kids in here smarter than you? Smarter than, okay, at computers in particular? Yeah, Danny's a genius, okay? He'll have this thing edited, downloaded, and up probably by about 2:30 this morning. Okay, yeah, he's about as focused as I am. He's ridiculous. He's like a bulldog. He takes a hold of a challenge and just rips it apart. This is also on Blog Talk Radio. So if you go to YouTube, type in John B. Cairo, and that's the first part of my email. It's John B. Cairo at Hotmail. Yes, I still have Hotmail. Okay, so you know, just go to YouTube, type in John B. Cairo, and it's got 300 videos. Okay, so you can start researching some of this. If you want to hear this on the radio, just go to Blog Talk Radio, and there's a long one. It's Ask Dr. John Bergman. It's no spaces or anything. You just go to Blog Talk, type it in, and you'll hear the same thing. I record it live, but it's like always there. Next week. Well, no, that won't be till the 28th of October. That's why we stop at the 25th. Okay, they say plus or minus 3 days, 28th of October, everything goes. Okay, so waste management, water purification. Yes.